And hello, beautiful human. I am Zach. That is Dan. We welcome to the studio for, 1,500 and second. That's not a number, but many times. Tori Kelly.
Hey. just you clapping.
Yeah. No, dude. It's exciting. It's crazy.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. We have done quite a few interviews, and they've all been great.
And they're never like too close together. They're very much scattered apart, attached to different eras of you. And I don't know, we probably like discussed this a bunch of times like on record, but the first time you ever came on the show, we were doing the show in New York City at this place called the Broadcast Center, and iconic for housing a bunch of shows like CNN, but also 106 in Park.
Yeah.
You weren't scheduled to come on our show that day.
No. I was doing 106 in Park. Right?
Having a life-changing television appearance downstairs, right?
Yeah, it was like me and my guitar kind of vibe. It was really early on. Yeah.
We're talking about what year, Daniel?
It was December of 2013.
Oh, you found it. Wow.
Yeah.
December 2013.
We'll take you back. Wow. At this moment in time, Tori Kelly was going viral for singing a song on Vine.
Yeah.
What is it? Do you remember? Can you do it?
Did it came out around this time? I
just
posted a random Vine of me in the car one time, and I was like, the sun is out and I'm feeling okay. Hope you have a really good day. And I was just being so extra in the car. I was like, I'm going to post this.
Some may say,
Vine.
well, some may say it was like the first original short form viral singing video to ever exist. I don't know. I'm going to say it. We're going to put it on record. Yeah. But think about it. Vine really laid ground to so much. And
that's true. Vine was fun.
Like, think about everything that's come after Vine.
I know. It's
been fucking insane.
I know.
But is that why you ended up on 106 in Park? No, it was because you were pushing. You had your first ever album or EP.
Yeah. Well, if it was December of 2013, that means I had one EP out. Oh no, I had 2 EPs out. Yeah, because my 2012 was the first EP, and then 2013 was, I think, the second EP. So I was doing like Dear No One.
Yes.
Songs like that and just promoting the EP and stuff. Crazy. But yeah, you were, I just remember I was with my mom and we had just done 106 in Park, and then we were like walking through the hallway. And was it you personally that came, or was it someone on your team or something was like, hey, this guy Zach Sang wants to do an interview, like, since you're here, like, are you down? And I was just like, okay.
So intern Diomi, who's worked on our show for 11 years.
Is it him?
Wow.
Was like, this girl, Tori Kelly, I just saw her enter the building. She's going to be on 106 in Park today. And we're like, oh, we love Tori Kelly. Aww. And then, like, we find, like, your team's information. We try to get in touch with the label. Yeah. And the label's like, yeah, like, we think she's doing this show today, but, like, nobody's really with her. And, like, but, like,
yeah, it was so early. It was just, like, everything was, like, just getting
literally
going.
Our description says we play her song on the radio for the first time. Were we the first people to play you on the radio?
I think we were.
That sounds right, yeah. If it was because Dear No One would have come out like October of that year or something.
I remember calling some random person at your label, be like, Tori Kelly's in the building and we need to have her on. And she's like, I can't, like, I'll see what, and I remember sending emails.
Like, and
then,
that day, in the moment,
yes,
like while I was doing
literally while you're on television.
Ah, that's great.
And then intern Diomi's like, whatever, like, we'll just figure it out. Let me go ask her.
And it worked. It worked. You guys literally stopped us in the hallway, and I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. And it was great. I just remember walking away from that interview being like, this guy's awesome. Like, he's just so chill and easy to talk to. And then look at you now. Just
I love you.
Continuing to kill it. I love it.
All these years later, you choose to still give us time, and I really appreciate you very much. It really means a lot. And thank you. Like, thank you for being here, Tori Kelly. Like, this is a really fascinating time, no, for you? Like, different than anything else?
It is.
I mean,
it's feeling great.
Why?
Why? For a lot of reasons. I think this new, I hate the word era. I say it so many times, but it really, there's no other way to really describe it, because I have gone through a lot of different phases and genres and eras, if you will. But I think at this stage in my life, and the music that's coming out of me now is just the best music I've ever made. And I'm feeling, I think I'm just growing more into myself. I'm stepping more into myself as a woman, as an artist, and just feeling overall more confident in myself, and I think the music is sort of coming from that place. Especially, I mean, I came here and talked about technically my last full-length album, if you don't count the Christmas one. It was very personal. It was very intimate. I was going through a lot personally, so I'm always just gonna be authentic to what I'm going through, and so all of those songs are coming from that pretty sad place. And so now, having gone through that and healed from that, and it's been now quite some time, so I think I've just been in this place of like, wait, I'm happy. Like I'm not sad. Like I want to sing like big songs I can just belt in my car, and other people can go crazy in their car and sing along, and I just wanted like really feel good music. So that's what I'm doing.
But so, okay, it's feel good music that makes you happy.
Yeah.
But there is still, it's story there. There's also nostalgia there. But I also feel like people are getting to know a new Tori Kelly. Like, is that somewhat fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's interesting because I think a lot of the things that people have heard so far and are about to hear, just with this new sound, it's all things that I've always been inspired by. So for me, yes, it feels new in some ways, but it's also me kind of going back to my roots and things I grew up on, which was that, pop R&B early 2000s sound was a big influence on my life. So you'll hear a bit of that. The sort of like 90s hip hop kind of vibes are thrown in there. But yeah, I think it feels, it's like everything I've done has led up to this moment, and I'm just saying, you know what, this side of me has always been there, but I'm just kind of now, letting it out. So it's still very much authentic to who I am, but it's like, let's have some fun now. Let's crawl out a little bit more and switch it up.
But like, what changes in your life that's pushing you out, like just out of your comfort zone, I guess, or into your truth?
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, it's always been there. I think the thing that changed is, one, feeling like, okay, I'm in a season of life where I'm in love. I'm very like happily married. So I think a lot of the songs come out of that as well. Especially if you consider my last album, I didn't really talk about that as much. It was just like a lot of very sad things. I touched on it a little bit, but I think sonically it just feels more like where I'm at. And I think not only that, but I worked with,
Jon Bellion.
I know we're going to get to it at some point.
Like, what? Of course.
I worked with Jon Bellion on this whole thing. So, and I know you're a fan.
I'm obsessed with him.
So am I. And I'd love for you to chime in on this story too, but when I just had a flashback of last year, actually probably this exact time last year, because we were at Coachella.
Oh my God.
Do you remember this?
Wait, no. What happened?
Because
Oh God.
I ran, it was like backstage or something at not backstage, but like some special area of Coachella.
I'm gonna vomit.
And you really don't remember that?
No.
That's amazing. So I'm walking like backstage. I was with my husband too, and we see you and we're like, oh my gosh, like we're so excited to see you. We say hi, and then you asked what I've been up to and like what's new musically, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm working with Jon Bellion. And I swear, you literally you like froze and looked at me, and then you took 2 steps back, and you were like, it makes so much sense, but I can't compute. You were like trying to process us two working together. But you were like, I love him. That's amazing. It was just like,
because it is
the
perfect.
best reaction ever.
It is real. I mean, you got to understand something. Like now, I do remember it was backstage and it was really disgusting. Sorry, like
it's always like really dusty.
Yes, that's what I. And it wasn't like the artist area. It was like going to and from stages, right?
I think so. Yeah, something like that.
So okay, understand something. All I kept thinking to myself is like, well, 2 things. Like, he is a genuine artist who creates so much out of absolutely nothing, and you have so much. So the 2 of you together, just crazy. But also the 2 of you, I think, spiritually had, like, I remember thinking in that moment, like, yo, I feel like the 2 of you, like, spiritually would definitely, like, link up. Like, have some sort of something. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but like is he religious?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of his and
You know,
listened,
yeah,
like
you
he
could
gets
tell.
into some deep topics and just like real life stuff, which I always loved about him. And that, I mean, we had like so many cool, just not surfacey level sort of conversations in the studio, which I think was not just with him, but with all the other guys too that he sort of put together. It was like this little crew of these amazingly talented producers and writers. And so
Did you stay at his house?
I did, yes. Yes. So he's in Long Island or on Long Island. I don't know what you're
So
supposed
you
to
can't
say.
say in, it's on.
Is that a thing? Wait, where are you from?
New Jersey.
So it's on Long Island, right?
Yeah.
And it's a whole thing. I got really schooled for that. But yeah, so I was on Long Island, and he has this whole. He built like a studio in his basement, but it's also this cool like apartment feel. Like I had a full kitchen and everything, and so I was just down there in his basement, and everyone would show up, and then we would just make songs. But I loved that because it helped me to. I just love working in that way where it's just very concentrated. There's no distractions or, I can just like really put all of myself, into the songwriting.
He must have been obsessed with your voice.
He's
isn't?
definitely we're definitely mutual fans of each other. Yeah. But there were times where he would geek out for sure. But I think with him though, what was so cool was I also needed someone who wasn't just gonna sit there and like be a fan, if that makes sense. Like of course he's a fan, and it's flattering. But I guess I wanted someone who could focus on, okay, that's great. Like you can sing and it sounds great, but is it a catchy song or is it what are we actually saying? Like we need to kind of see past that as well. Does that make sense?
Of
like
course.
Without just me. Because I love singing, and I've always, been a singer, and I think people kind of know that. But now I'm in a place where it's like, okay, cool. Like, we've established that. Like, I sing, boom, boom, boom. But now,
Story.
what is the sound? What is the story? Like, what are we trying to accomplish here? So I kind of came to him, and I was like, hey, I'm in a really great place in my life. I am super happy. I'm in love. I feel super confident in my own skin, and I want this music to feel that way. And I just want big, fun, epic songs. And he was like, boom, let's do it.
Missing You.
Yeah.
Where are you at with him when you even start that song?
That Missing You was probably, like the third or fourth song that we did, I think. It all happened. It was just like very much everything happening fast. But yeah, Missing You felt crazy because we were just so inspired by, like I said, that early Y2K sound for this one. But also there's the like UK like drum and bass kind of feel as well. So it just felt like this really cool blend of those two worlds. And of course, Craig David was a big inspo, like did that little line in the
Fill me in
verse.
line.
Yeah, you caught
Yeah,
that.
I caught that one.
Yeah, so that song was it was just so fun. And I remember wanting the lyrics to match the just how it felt sonically and just give that nostalgic feel. So that's where we have, the sidekick line.
So good.
And I actually have my sidekick still.
Really?
So that line is it's very personal to me, yeah.
What starts first? Like, are you writing to production? Are you writing to are you doing production to lyrics?
Everything was kind of happening at once. I mean, like I said, he sort of put together a small group of guys to where, they could be working on the beat, and then maybe John and I would go and like, finesse some lyrics, or sometimes it would be, hey, I want to write a song about this, and then we would just kind of start from scratch. But yeah, it was for example, like Missing You, for example, is a very layered song. Like I don't think people realize just how many places I was pulling from for that one. I mean, obviously we established like the Y2K, the sound and everything, but lyrically that day I actually walked in to the studio that day, and I think something had happened. I might have gotten a text or something where it just kind of reminded me of this. I mean, and this is like a super tragic thing that happened, not to like, make the mood like this, but my best friend, and I've talked about this before, but my best friend actually lost her husband 2020, and like very tragically, very suddenly. And so that, of course, like wrecked the whole friend group and everything. And for some reason on that day, I was just really feeling it on my heart. And I was like, I don't know if, and it was so interesting too, because here I am walking into the studio just as a whole wanting to make these like fun, upbeat songs. And then of course I'm the type of artist where I can't force anything. So if I'm feeling a certain way, I'm like, I have to lean into this and just see where it takes me. And so this was one of those days. I'm like, okay, even though I'm wanting this fun, upbeat album, like I just can't shake this feeling. And so I brought it to Jon. I was like, I don't know if this is a direction that we want to go in, but I sort of just started talking about the situation and how it affected my friend and how it affected me. And all of us are just like bawling, like in tears. And then he starts sharing a story about someone that he knew and just involving grief and loss. And it was just this really beautiful and, heart-wrenching moment where we're all just kind of going around and sharing. And we were like, okay, now that we've gotten that out, is there a way we, put this into a song? And so we started just writing. And it's crazy hearing "Missin' You" now from where it started, because we literally the story of my best friend and her husband passing, that I would say was kind of the seed of the song. Even though now when you hear it, it is kind of more upbeat and fun, and like you can dance to it. I've had people say they just cried the whole time, and there's other people that are like, oh my gosh, such a fun song, like so nostalgic. So I tell that story just to say like these songs, and why I loved working with Jon as well, is because there's so many layers. It's like I can listen to the song, and by the way, we started, the lyrics were feeling very heavy, so that's why we were like, okay, let's start here, but then we kind of pulled it back a little bit, and that's where you get the sidekick line and kind of
it's the right
tweaks.
balance.
Yeah, and so that's kind of how it was. Is we were so particular and careful, and every song just felt so precious, and we wanted it to feel just really handcrafted, and we really took our time on all these details. So, but I haven't really shared that story yet, just about the deeper layer of "Missin' You," just because it kind of it takes a second to actually explain it. But yeah, that's one of the layers I would say of that song. And then, on top of everything else, like the Y2K stuff going on.
I mean, like that proves a lot to you though. And I mean, at least to me in terms of music, like something can sound so fun and lighthearted, but really have such deep meaning.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you show the song to your friend and tell her what it's about?
So I showed it to her, and she didn't even catch on either at first. Like, she's just listening to it. I played her like a bunch of songs, and she's like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. Like, I've known her literally since birth. Yeah, we've known each other our whole lives. So she's just...
I feel like I may have met her.
You probably have.
At like another music festival I ran into you at.
Kaboo, I think.
Yeah,
she
Kaboo.
was there. Yeah. She was there. Yeah, so she's...
By the way, there was like a string of like 2 years where Tori Kelly and I saw like 24 concerts together.
That is true. We ran into each other at shows a lot.
A lot.
I feel like there was also like a Jacob Collier show that we ran into.
Yeah. Well, then like there's a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Okay, back to... Did you show her?
So
Yeah.
I showed her the song. Then the first time the first time is like, because I didn't want to just be like, hey, this song is about you. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to, because the song is so layered, it is almost kind of weird to be like, hey, this is about you. And then, the lyrics it's not just about that, if that makes sense. No. I think as a songwriter, there's all these different things we pull inspiration from, and it can be about many things. So I didn't want to just play it and be like, this is about you. And then it's, not fully about that. But she told me that when I played it for her again the second time, and then I did let her know. I was like, hey, just so you know, like, this is going to be the single, because at the time it wasn't even going to be the single. We hadn't chosen it yet. So when it was the single, I was like, hey, just so you know, like, it is like somewhat inspired by, your story. And she was like, oh my gosh, like, I had a feeling, but like, I didn't know for sure. But she just felt, like, that it was really special and totally understood like the layered aspect of the song. So, but yeah, she's the best. I just think she's like the strongest person ever. I look up to her a lot.
I have so many questions.
Yeah.
Is the album done?
Not me looking at my team. Yes. Yeah.
We've heard some of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not a
Love
ton,
that.
but
Yeah,
only
it's-
like 3 songs.
I would say it's done. Yeah.
How do you know it was done?
Um. When I feel like I don't have anything else or any other topics that I feel this urge like I need to say, it felt like we covered quite a few things, not just topics but also sound wise. It just felt like, okay, this is me in album form.
Did you set any goals before you started making this with Jon?
I think one of my personal goals would have been to, or one of the things I wanted to accomplish with this album is really making sure I can picture these songs live. I think that, it wasn't that hard to achieve that goal, to be honest, because that just is this sort of natural thing. This sort of natural thing that I think after, having toured for so long, I just naturally go to that place and I picture the shows and people singing along. But it helps in the studio to think of that because sometimes songs don't translate live, and I think with this album I was like, okay, I want to make sure these just feel like you're just transported already to the show when you're hearing these. And so I get so giddy like thinking about, because there's just one, people have only heard one song. Well, you guys have heard more,
But the aesthetic attached to this whole new chapter is really something too.
Yeah.
Is your hair connected to it?
Oh, good question. Yeah, so my hair. It's so funny talking about my hair because I was blonde for a long time. I didn't even realize how long, to be honest, but I'm a natural brunette, so this is actually my natural hair color. And I didn't think it would like cause this big thing when I changed my hair color.
It did.
I didn't. Yeah. I guess I guess it was just for me time to switch it up. I think anyone who's changed their hair color, they're like, yeah, it's usually connected to. I shouldn't say it's always connected to anything, but for me, it was connected. I was like, you know what? I think this project feels like me going back to my roots in a lot of ways. So why don't I just go to my literal roots as well? And it wasn't super thought out or anything though. Too, it just felt like it made sense. It was later on too. Like once I sat with the music and it was sort of finished, it just sort of happened. I was like, yeah, I feel brunette.
Why did it make sense?
Like I said, like going back to my roots, I think wanting to just ready for a change too. I think as we get older, it's like, it's just fun to play.
Yeah, that's why I'm blonde now.
Is it? How long have you been blonde?
Like 3 weeks.
3 weeks? Wait, I feel like I've seen you blonde.
No, I've never been blonde before.
No, pink.
It looks so, pink.
I was pink once.
And gray.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But you have to go blonde first to get that.
Just turn her mic off.
No.
Oh.
Oh.
Wow.
Sorry.
Yes, you did.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
Sorry.
I'm gonna
Sorry.
leave.
No.
But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to like change your hair, right?
Yeah, you just get kind of bored looking at yourself. So I'm like, what am I
Yeah.
going to do today? I'm going to go blonde.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was some of that, but it was also, I've been known as the I still have my curls. Like that's not changing. I still have like my, curly hair, but the blonde I think was such a thing, like the curly hair and the blonde, and without me even realizing it, it became this sort of silhouette that people associated me with. And so I think subconsciously I probably felt like I had to always just stick to that, especially early on. I think when you're kind of, trying to get yourself out there as an artist and like, have people listen to your songs or whatever. I think there was that subconscious thing of like, oh, I have to, stick with this shape of my hair. And it was just my natural hair other than the blonde part. But I think now I'm in a place when I hear this music, I'm like, this music makes me feel like experimenting with my hair and doing different hairstyles.
Well, the fashion's different too.
The styling and the fashion, like it's all still me, but it's things that I maybe wouldn't have tried before because I thought, I have to stick with this thing, which at the time was authentic to me. But, now it's like, okay, cool. Like I've done that. What else can we do? So also, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I really am.
Are you doing choreography?
I mean, it's nothing there. So yes. So here's the thing. People don't know either that I actually grew up dancing. Like I took hip hop classes when I was 7 and I had a blast. And so that's another thing with this. Everything for me stems out of, I think just naturally flows out of the music, right? I feel like I've said that a lot, but again, it's like when I hear these songs and I'm in the studio, I'm like, it's like unlocking these parts of myself that have been there, but they just haven't been accessed. So dance is one of those things. I'm like, shoot, how do I not dance to these songs? Like they're so fun. And I think that's a side of myself that
scary though, no?
Not really. I mean, no, because it just all feels organic, to the sound. And I do love dancing. And I just think me as a performer in general, whether it's me with a guitar, whether I'm playing drums, whether I'm dancing, whether I'm, whatever, I could be just sitting down and singing. I think I'm just viewing myself as more of a, overall sort of performer, entertainer, instead of boxing myself into one thing. And because that's the thing. I don't feel like I have to choose. And that's always been my thing, whether it's the sound that I'm doing, the genre I'm doing. I don't want to be boxed in. And I think that's one of the best parts about being an artist is you get to.
But do you feel like you only have that flexibility now that you've created a foundation? Like, do you think a new artist can do that?
Can do what exactly?
Have the flexibility and freedom to do whatever they like, to not fit. Like, to be fair, like you made your own mold, right? Like you built your own brand that people got really accustomed to. Mm-hmm. And when you chose to change it up, that's like when people were like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like, but because you've built such a strong foundation, you can essentially do whatever you want next. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, maybe I get that people, well, I guess because there's look wise and then there's sound wise. Mm-hmm. Like when I think of my sound over the years, that has fully
totally
changed all over. So that's,
oh my God, yeah, you did an incredible Christian album at one point.
I did, yeah, I did a gospel album. I've done, my first album was pop R&B. My EPs were kind of singer-songwriter R&B, a little like alternative. I've done the more full band stuff. I've done the more program stuff.
I mean, I can kind of make the case that like what you're doing now kind of like is it a culmination of all of it?
That's exactly I think what I'm trying to say as well. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, because it's like, yes, people, I think look wise, people know me for a certain look, and the hair and the,
guitar.
Style, the guitar, and all of that. Like, I'm very much still that girl. Like that's something I love. Guitar, I love acoustic versions, all of that. So if people are like, oh my gosh, she's changing, it's like, that's not it. But at the same time, I think what you're saying is exactly on the nose. It's just everything that I've ever done feels like it's led up to this moment, but in a way just more elevated in the way. I think it's really like the album that I've always wanted to make and have kind of been trying to make, and now it just makes sense.
Why? Like, and you say confidence, life. This album, like Jon Bellion is on every song.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
How long are you living in his basement for?
That's crazy.
Well, the first time we worked together, it was just 1 week, and that wasn't his studio wasn't ready yet. So I just flew out there, and we worked at a studio for a week did 2 songs, and then he had a baby. So, which is amazing. But
Wait, so this really started like a while ago.
yeah, this was 2021,
Whoa.
which is
Whoa.
crazy.
2 years ago.
Yeah, that was the initial sort of like, hey, let's work together. And then after we did those 2 songs, it was very much me sort of like waiting for him to like be in dad mode, like super happy that you had your kid. It's great, but like just waiting. But no, and oh my gosh, his boys are just like so beautiful and amazing. And that's been cool too, watching him just be in dad mode. But yeah, we did the 2 songs. I basically, it was like 7 months or so later, got back in a year ago, I think. Yeah. So like top of last year. And we got in, and it was 4 weeks.
Whoa.
I lived in his basement.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's nice.
It's so nice. Yeah. When you hear basement, there's a lot of things that you could think of, but it was so nice. Like, I had full kitchen. I was making my matcha like every morning. Like I was, one thing I had to make sure was get fresh air though, first thing in the morning, because otherwise I would start going crazy at night, because I realized I have not seen any sort of natural light for 12 hours or whatever. So that was that started to be important. But it was so great. It was just, I think, being at his actual home too, and like having his family there and his amazing wife, like it just felt so welcoming and warm. And I think that really affected the music as well. Everything felt comfortable it felt really comfortable being there. Like I could just be myself, let my guard down, and just, be free to experiment and try new things. And and you know how talented he is. So it was very much a really exciting collaboration that I'm excited for. 'Cause again, it's so weird talking about this because there's just one song out at this point, but I can't wait for people to hear everything else.
Does the rest of the album sound like Missin' You, or do you explore different kind of sounds in the album?
Great question. It is, so that sound, we definitely, the album I feel like is kind of split into these different worlds, where that's one of the worlds would be coming from Missin' You. So you got like Y2K, little, touch of the R&B, the UK sort of sound, that kind of fast, like drum and bass vibe. We were definitely inspired by that, but then there's this other side where it's a little more gritty. It's got the more hip hop influence. There's some, I think we touch on, there's like a little bit of an Afrobeats vibe on the album too. We touch on, I give the, the classic little guitar vibe as well. I think what else? It's all the things that I love. It's all the things that I love. But yeah, we touch on, these slightly different sounds that I've been inspired by.
What was the first song you did with Jon?
Well, you haven't.
Yeah,
the people haven't heard it yet. You guys maybe have heard it. Yeah.
Ooh.
I can't say. Can I give titles? No.
Oh.
Someone's saying yes and someone's saying no.
Sick.
I'll just say, well, the first song we did was on the more hip hop side. So that was kind of, everything will make sense when people hear this. But what? The tea. Oh, give me. They say give them the tea.
What's the tea?
The tea. That's the tea. That the song was. It's so good. It's so good.
That's a lot of tea you guys just gave
I
us.
gave you so much tea just now.
Don't give us too much.
Yeah, I'm gonna choke.
Whoa, guys.
I'm gonna choke.
Yeah, I can't say. I can't give you that one. I can't give you that one.
Is Missing You hard to sing vocally? Because I don't know anything about singing, but I was reading comments and I was like, this song is so hard to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
How?
It is. It's one of the more difficult songs to sing, I think, just because you're going from such a low register to like right away to a high register. And it's really fun to sing though. I love singing it, but yeah, it's just, and it's pretty fast, you know. So it's like just keeping that cardio up, making sure I'm, you know, hitting the notes. But,
Does
yeah,
that make you
fun.
nervous to do that over and over again on a tour?
No, I love that. I love that part. I love the slight I love tour because it offers me the set list, you know, for the most part. I change it sometimes, but for the most part it's like you kind of know where your voice is going to be at a certain point, and I love putting together set lists because it's like, okay, if I do this song, it's a little crazier. Maybe I'm hitting really high notes, and then the next song I'll kind of give myself a break, and then we go here. It's a whole, you know, taking people on a whole journey. So that I look forward to that part of just, you know, working on my voice and trying to get better.
What'd you learn from Jon?
That's great. That's a great question. I think Jon was really really fun to work with on vocal stuff, because and we kind of touched on this before, of just like being, yes, he's, you know, a fan of my voice, but I think he really helped. So I'm trying to explain this in the best way. So I would do a lot of like really silly, dumb impressions in the studio. And just bear with me here. This will make sense. And so I would just be, you know, doing these impressions and actually trying to sing the part, and, you know, getting sidetracked because I would just be dumb and, you know, be someone else. And then we somehow used that to sort of like create these, not create, but like sort of tap into these other tones that I have that I maybe haven't shared as much. So like on Missin' You, for example, that kind of low register, that's maybe something people aren't used to hearing from me. So things like that were really fun because I think Jon really brought that out. Just because instead of just being like, hey, yeah, like sing it how you know how you would sing it, we both really wanted to create something new and fresh and something that sounded totally different. So we would kind of sit there and be like, oh, what if you made your tone a little darker here, or, you know, make this shape with your mouth, and then that makes the sound. Like, I'm trying to think of an example, but like the Riesling line, for example, like the way I'm singing that is so weird, but it's like weird. I'm doing so much with my hands. It's weird, but in a good way. At least, like, Jon was like, yeah, that's dope. I did it in such a silly, weird way. I was like, I'm a Riesling. Like, it just sounds weird, you know, but he was like, no, that's good. Like, it's just weird enough. We're like sticking people's heads and it's catchy. I was like, okay, cool. So I'd say that just because it's things like that that made it so fun to just try things and just kind of see, you know, what stuck, essentially.
But you have to feel vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
And like comfortable to do that with somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I think us just being silly in the studio and feeling comfortable enough to, you know, that's the thing. It's like we were so silly and I've laughed so hard during this whole album process, but at the same time we're having these deep conversations like we were talking about earlier. So I think that balance, it did allow me to just feel like I could be myself. If I was feeling a certain way one day, I could go in and we could totally dive into that. If I was, you know, feeling silly and crazy and goofy, like I could I'm so silly. I could go into that as well, you know, and it was embraced and it was we leaned into it. So, and we got great results from it because there was something about it that was cool.
This era, I'm
Love that
using the
word.
word. It's a terrible word.
Era. There's no other word. Chapter.
That's
I'm
worse.
using every
That's
synonym
awful.
for it.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, are we thinking that this is where we're going to be, or do you not even like set out to create anything more than just a single album. Do you get what I'm saying?
Say that again.
Like, is this a sonic scape for numerous albums, or is this just for this one?
I don't want to speak too like prematurely, because who knows where I'll be or what headspace I'll be in when it's time for the next. But I will say it does feel like feels like I'm landing on something really special. I'll say that. Like it does feel different, and it does feel exciting, and like it's all of these different sides of me coming together, and I'm excited for people to just hear where the rest of this goes, because like I said, there's a lot more than just Missing You. It's like a lot more sounds that we touch on, and just different sides, I think, that I'm excited for people to see. And so I think yes.
Could all of these songs hit acoustically?
Yeah, that's funny you said that, because that was another thing, just like with the sort of dance performer test that I was doing in the studio of like, okay, I want to make sure these songs feel like they can be done live, or these songs make me feel like I want to dance. I did kind of the same test with it was just like a subconscious thing. I think while I'm in the studio, I could sort of already picture the acoustic versions of everything. Just because I love doing that. It's like I'm covering myself, kind of like doing a cover of my own.
It's a whole retelling. So. It's sick.
Yeah, and I think the lyrics can pop out a little more sometimes with acoustic versions, but that's another thing that I'm excited to just continue exploring, is like every song I think can have so many versions, which is exciting. And that was going back to what you said, because I think you asked like what was a goal, or one of y'all asked like a goal for this.
I think that was definitely him.
Okay, yeah, so that was.
But you think it was definitely
you know what?
me?
That was me.
Okay.
Yeah, that was me.
Who cares? Anyway, I think that one of the goals, I think, was to make sure that every song could have many different versions.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think that's kind of for me at least, that's the sign of a good song. I feel like when I hear a song and I can, picture it acoustically, or I could picture like a country version, or I could picture a rock version or a rap version, or, all the production can change, but the song itself it has to be a good song, right? So that was something that just to go back to your question of what was the goal, I think that was one of my goals personally, is, just to make sure like at the heart of it, the melody and the lyric and like that's solid, and then everything else can, that's the fun part about doing live shows too, is I can kind of finesse the production a little bit.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
By the way, you got to listen to all of Tori Kelly's music. It's all available on Amazon Music.
Don't do it.
No, do it.
It's terrible. No, I'm just kidding.
There's a link in the description below. Also, check out the music video for Missing You. Mm-hmm. It's sick.
Yeah, it is.
You like it?
Yeah, it's great.
It's fun, huh?
Flawless.
Did you catch all the references?
Wait.
There's got to be like a TLC in there.
Yes.
And a Leah.
Oh, yeah.
The mirrors.
Yes.
Some Missy.
Mm-hmm.
Scaly vibes with the fisheye, Yeah.
It was like really the right amount of homage.
Yes.
It's good.
Cool.
I mean, like that is like that. Does that not spark any nerves too? Like even paying respect to those people, the greats. Like you run the risk of those like people coming in and like
whack.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it's not whack.
No, it's not.
Wait,
But yeah, you definitely want to like do right by them, of course.
Didn't you make the video with somebody who made some of those videos?
Well, that's the thing. So I made the video with Mark Klasfeld, who like he's a legend like in the music video world, and he did I think he did like Lose My Breath by Destiny's Child in like 2004. What else did he do? He's done like a lot. He did Bossy. We wanted to bring him on because we knew he would get what we're trying to do and, really take us there and execute it in the right way. And I think he killed it. He was so much fun to work with too. The whole day was just so fun.
Do you enjoy, what part of this process fulfills you the most? Because I do think that You're a singer, yes. Like everybody knows that. That's something you do. But like, I'm assuming you don't get that much fulfillment out of like hitting high notes, or maybe it's people's reactions that fulfills you.
That's interesting.
But what part? Like,
no. Well, the reason why I know it's not people's reactions. People's reactions are great. It's it's awesome. But
it's because you hate people.
I hate everybody.
Untrue. I see her at music festivals all the time.
No, but the reason why I know that singing is such a passion of mine and that I really would be doing it, even if, if this didn't work out or whatever, is because when I'm alone, I actually enjoy singing. Like, I will sing just for myself. I just love singing, and I love perfecting my craft and trying different things, and that's how I know. Because if I'm just at home and there's no audience, then I have my dogs.
And they can sing with you. I saw that.
They do sing, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, only one of them. The other one isn't good.
You should let them know.
It's kind of sad. I do.
Oh,
I do. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. But no, my first child.
My first boy.
Wow. So, all the people with kids right now are like, what is she talking about?
Is it true though that you don't let them sleep in your bed?
Wait, where did you read that?
I saw it in a video from 2021.
And I said that?
You had 2 little
Okay.
cages on the ground, and you said that's where they sleep.
No, that is true. We have so we try to crate train them so that I've heard that that's like a good way to keep them better trained or something, is that they have their
their space.
their night is what we call it. And what was I saying? Oh, the sleeping in the bed. Yeah. We do these things called sleepovers, okay? And they know what the word sleepover is. So it's not like an all the time thing, and they know that it's a special occasion. It's a special treat, and you say sleepover and they like freak out. So yeah, sometimes. Anyways,
Me and my dog.
on my dogs.
Me and my dogs have sleepovers every night.
Yeah, and a lot of people do,
Yeah.
but my dogs are also so small. I actually would be scared to
Oh my God, yeah.
roll on them.
I guess your husband's also like 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
You'll crush him.
Yeah, not exactly 9 feet.
Close
but
enough.
Yeah, close. But I do get scared though. Yeah, that he would like kill them. That would
That'd be horrendous.
be so dark. Gosh, we get so morbid all of a sudden.
Oh man, listen to Tori Kelly's music. All of it available on Amazon Music. What else are you thinking, Daniel?
I just want to know, what last year, like there was some controversy around Mina. She was hated by everyone on the internet. What happened?
Yeah, I just love that. I love that it's controversy.
Your dogs?
Controversial.
No.
Mina's the elephant from Sing.
Mina has
Oh,
a hate
sorry.
club now. I saw somewhere someone said we need a whole Mina spinoff now that she has all this hate, and I was like, sign me up. I'm ready. Like, let's do it. But yeah, there was a whole thing that she's like a pick me because she just took over the happy birthday song for her grandpa. And I never thought of it that way. But it's also kind of funny because it's like, I'm the voice, but I'm also, it's not like me. It's
You're not an elephant that can sing.
I'm not an elephant that can sing. So I thought it was funny. I thought it was very, very entertaining. But yeah, she has it's a whole like hashtag Mina slander, like Mina in blenders. It's dark.
What?
No, it's because TikTok's like weird, like TikTok can get wild. But yeah, it was a lot.
How many more of those movies are coming?
I don't know how many more. But I
done?
think there's gonna be another one. Am I allowed to? I don't
Yeah,
know. I saw it online.
Screen Rant says Sing 3 in development.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So
Yeah.
that's
I was like sick. So because they have to write it and do so
Yeah.
much before they even hit up any actors. So
Hopefully
I'm
Mina
just
makes-
kind of like, yeah, let's go.
Do you think
I
she'll
would
make
do
the
that.
cut?
I know that I thought about that. I was like, what if
Things
she
are
doesn't?
things are different for her now.
They are, but maybe that could be in her storyline.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's like she has haters now, and so it gives her character and it gives her grit and it gives her an edge because now she has to prove herself to the haters.
So is there like somebody out there right now taking photos of children dressed as this elephant?
Like
Like-
at a birthday party?
Yeah, like no, like at like one of the amusement parks or something.
Oh,
You know, like
I haven't seen that.
you've never taken a picture with like somebody in a Mina outfit.
No, but that would be cool. No,
Oh,
I
damn.
don't think they did that.
Oh damn.
They were a McDonald's toy at one time.
Oh, that's cool.
That was
Do you have
cool.
yours?
Did you put your voice
It's
in it?
somewhere. Yeah, they used my voice.
you
She's
got
like,
rich.
"Don't you ever think-"
That shit
Is that a
pays
thing?
real good. Yeah,
Really? Oh,
that's what I hear.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Those.
Hey, if your voice is in the
Yes.
toy, I need to hit someone up then. What's? I didn't know that. No, yeah, there was like the toys. What else did they do? I've never seen someone in a full costume though. That would be cool.
I think
It
it
should
exists.
be me inside it though, because I have always had a dream to be a mascot,
Oh my god, me too.
right?
Yes,
So it's
like
not
at
just me-
Disneyland.
Yeah, well, like
Yes.
Disneyland or like a sports game or
Oh
something.
my god, yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun? Like if it was like nobody knew, but no, and not like anyone would.
By the way,
care,
there
maybe,
is-
but like it would, like I would care.
You've never seen this? There is a Mina.
Where?
Really?
Yeah, it exists.
But where is it? She walk around?
There's like a whole. There's
Where, like at Universal or something?
you know what? I think it's actually at the one in Dubai. We
Let's
gotta-
go to Dubai.
What are we
We
doing?
gotta go to Dubai. I've never been.
What are you doing this weekend?
It's currently there.
Yeah,
But
I'll show it to you.
Wait, I have to get a picture with life size Mina.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually.
Wow.
I would break the internet.
Would it?
Yep.
You got to bring a blender though.
Jeez.
I'm in the hate club. I'm the leader.
That's
No,
pretty
I
cool
love
though.
Mina.
Like that's a big deal.
What being
Yeah, to
Mina?
to bring the voice to a character
Oh
that's
my
going to be in a
gosh.
bunch of movies that like touch kids' lives in real ways.
It still blows my mind. That's like one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of. And the cast
Yeah.
was like so many big names.
Bono's
What
in
the
it.
heck? Yeah, he's in the second one.
That's pretty baller.
I was like, who are they gonna get for it? I mean, where do you go from Bono?
I,
Like,
I don't know.
what do you do?
Any ideas?
Any idea?
No.
I
But
don't know.
that's exciting. Sing 3. Get
Yeah.
excited.
Get excited.
Thoughts?
Last question is: who decided to put the word Riesling in there? I had to Google that. Like, who knew Riesling was a drink?
So you didn't know
Had
that
no
it was a wine?
Had no idea. I was like, I just Googled it. I was
Okay.
like, what is this word?
Okay, I'm gonna tell on myself right now. I'm gonna tell on myself. I didn't know either.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I love a drink. Like I drink sometimes, but like because of the vocals, I've like stopped. So like even if I were to drink, it's not usually wine, let alone white wine.
What is it?
It would be probably like a cocktail of some kind.
Gin?
Like a tequila.
Oh.
Something citrusy. I don't know. But but Riesling. So we're in the studio, and this actually is this goes back to what I've been saying of just experimenting and like figuring out cool tones and parts of my voice that I haven't explored before. And we get to this line and we're just kind of saying like vowel sounds. We're like just we have the melody but we don't have the lyric. And Jon was the one who came up with Riesling, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, off that Riesling, like that would be dope. Like that's just weird enough, but like it's cool." And I was like, "What's Riesling? Like, what do you mean?" And I like Googled it, and it's a wine. It's a German wine, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Like my husband's German. I was like trying to connect it. I was like, "Yeah, Riesling." And I, after a while, I was like, "I don't know. Like, is Riesling popular? Like, I don't know." And he was like, "Yo, like my wife, like literally when she gets with her friends, like Riesling, like they go crazy over Riesling." And so I was like, "I don't know." And he was like, "Right now, hit up your friends and just be like, how do we feel about Riesling, just to see?" Because I was like, I don't know if my friends are into it like that. So I group texted my girlfriends. I was like, "How do we feel about Riesling? How do we feel about Riesling?" And they right away they wrote back. They were like, "Oh my gosh, I love Riesling. Like that's my drink. Like if I'm doing white wine, oh my gosh." And I was like, "What the heck?" So I and then I start, I was looking into it more. I was like, actually, yeah, like Riesling's a thing, and it just sounded so cool. I was like, it just sounded cool to say, and it really over the course of the next 4 weeks or however long I was staying there, 4 weeks, it would just get stuck in my head, and I was like, dang it, this Riesling line. So so that's the story. I'm telling on myself because I also had to Google recently.
And have you tried it yet?
I have.
Okay.
And I do like it. Yeah, I like it. But like I said, I don't drink often because like the vocals just like dry.
But it fits in the song.
But it fits in the song, you know?
I do have one
Hey,
more
I'm a
question.
storyteller.
I do have one more question.
Okay.
You said you were experimenting with your vocals.
Yeah.
Was there like any big failures? They're just like that. It's not working.
Probably, yeah. I mean, every day, yeah. Because I think you have to just throw stuff out there, even if it sounds insane, to get to, what feels right. And so, yeah, I would say every day there was some. Well, that's not it. But I don't know if I even have a specific example.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's what
That's
made
part
it
of the
fun.
process.
It made it so fun, and yeah, totally a part of the process. And that's where a lot of the laughs came from too. It was just being willing to, sound silly and yeah.
Is there a date for the album?
No.
We're getting a lot of no's.
Sick.
A lot.
Well,
Yeah.
Just like Simon Cowell gave you a no.
Jesus.
Not you going
Wait,
back
what?
so far.
Oh, no, that was a joke.
He said what?
Listen, I guess it didn't come across very well.
Too soon, Dan.
I start crying. I'm like, that's really, you just really triggered me.
Maybe-
I'm still affected. Isn't that crazy? I was 16.
That is nuts.
Yeah. I feel like I have no hard feelings towards him.
Yeah, I can tell.
I feel like it's been so long now that I could say like it was maybe for, I don't know. I don't know how if he actually felt that way. You know what I mean? I'm just, the vibes I got backstage was like, he was very supportive and like very nice. And that's all I'll say.
I mean,
Like, it was a show. It was a show.
I mean, you're doing okay.
Yeah.
I'm doing okay. If I saw him now, I'd be like, it's my guy, you know?
Yeah. Like he doesn't voice an elephant.
No,
No.
he doesn't. He's doing okay though too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. God, I can't. Every time you bring up Simon Cowell or someone he does, I just can't not think of his nipples.
All right. Well, I don't know where this
No,
is
it's
going.
the t-shirts, man. It's the t-shirts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of
Is it
course.
or is it just his nipples?
They're just
always
piercing.
Are they pierced?
I don't think of his nipples when I think of him.
No, you think of him saying no.
Yeah.
You get transported to that fateful day.
Yeah. It's just really emotional.
Listen to Tori Kelly's music, please. Link in the description below. All of it is on Amazon Music. We really appreciate and love you, sister. You're the
I love
best
you guys.
ever.
My jaws hurt.
You-
I'm smiling.
Are you good?
Yeah, I don't think
Are
I
you
should ask.
good?
I shouldn't ask anything else.
God, I'm afraid. What's next?
Yeah, anyway.
No, seriously. Listen to Tori's music. Listen to Missing You. And an album's on the way. So check it out. Amazon Music link is below. Thanks for being here.
Thank you guys.